Hey everybody, welcome to Whiskey Whistle. I'm the host of the show, Mark, and you're watching Whiskey Review. What is it? Actually, this is a, what would we call it? This is a special edition. Why is it special? Because I am going to feature something very new to the Korean market. So it's kind of like a press release on YouTube. Well, not really. The real press release will happen through, the newspapers here in Seoul, and probably on some of the news channels as well, if Diageo can get on there. Hopefully they do. And I really have to thank Diageo Korea for providing this very delicious bottle of Bell's blended Scotch whiskey for me. That's amazing. I really appreciate that. I had a meeting with the fine people from Diageo, one of whom, Wonu Tang, I must thank personally. Thank you very much, sir. And we talked about whiskey, and we talked about how can we turn things around for the whiskey industry here in Seoul, where I live. I'm Canadian, yes, I'm Canadian, but I live here in Seoul, and it's been turned on its head because of some sort of restrictions now for entertainment, for business to business sort of treatment. So there's lots of restrictions, and that has kind of pushed the thumb down on the Scotch whiskey, the whiskey industry in general in Korea. Not only that, but the Korean style of consuming alcohol is changing. Formerly, let me get that poured, Bell's whiskey, blended Scotch whiskey. This is apparently the UK #1 selling Scotch whiskey. How about that? So #1 in Scotland too, apparently, for volume. Pretty amazing. And have a look at that label. I believe this is the newest label. I have not seen this label online yet. So this must be the new rolling out, the new label rolling out, hopefully worldwide. I think they would want to keep that pretty consistent worldwide, wouldn't they? And very interesting packaging as well. Britain's most famous Scotch whiskey. Well, it's certainly the most prevalent, also famous by that regard. And nice picture of Mr. Arthur Bell on the front there. Great stuff. So, what do I think of this? Well, you're going to have to wait and find out, aren't you? So, anything else to tell you? Monday, May 29th, that's today, in Korea. This is being launched. Why did I put that on the ground? This is being launched in Korea. So for all the Koreans watching, probably later this week it's going to be available in all of the big marts, E-Mart, Home Plus, Lotte Mart, etc. Okay, so what can I say? 정말로 맛 좋아하니까요. 꼭 그런 하이퍼마트, 그런 엄청 큰 마트, 대형마트, 그 대형마트라고 하는 거죠. 대형마트 가서 한 병 구매하세요. 그리고 구매하시고 맛보고 저한테 마크 엄청 감사합니다. 그렇게 해주세요. I just told everyone in Korea that they'll need to go out and get a bottle of this later this week, and to take one home and try it, and then to leave a comment, because I know they're going to be saying, thank you, Mark, thank you for recommending this. I think probably price to taste, price to quality, this is really up there. Let's find out why. Now, would this normally be consumed in a Glencairn glass? Certainly not. It would likely be consumed in a rocks glass with ice, with cola. Apparently lemonade is something popular in the UK. Well, I'm going to try it neat, and I might actually do another program because I'm waiting for a Diageo recommended cocktail to try with this Bell's whiskey. Now, a little bit of information about Bell's while we let that rest up. What do I want to say here? Well, that's all in Korean. Very brief history of Bell's. Mr. Arthur Bell was born 1825. That number is listed on the bottle, as the establishment dates. 1851 is when the brand was officially launched. And why did he do that? He started blending different malts together because he wanted a more consistent flavor. Anyway, 1895, fast forward, his brothers joined the company. And 5 years later, the senior Arthur Bell passed away, and the sons carried it forward until they passed away themselves. It looks like in the same year, in fact, 1942. That may have been related to the war, perhaps. I don't really know. If you do know, please leave a comment, okay? Oh, you know, we forgot to talk about the alcohol percentages. 40% ABV. And color-wise, that's a nice Indian gold hue, isn't it? Where's my white paper? Well, I left it, but here's some lined paper. So there you go. You can see how that looks on lined paper. Yeah, pretty much Indian gold, a little bit more orange than the standard gold we get in Canada and so on. All right, where was I? Yeah, so then 1949. Oh, interestingly, the accountant of the company took over as chairman, and then he publicized. He took the company public in 1949. Fast forward 1970, Scotland's #1 selling whiskey, Scotch whisky by volume. 1978, and I guess since then, please let me know, has it been since 1978 that Bell's has been #1? Anyway, #1, UK #1, 1978. 1985, Guinness. The Guinness company bought Bell's for a very, very large sum, incredibly large sum. Although they apparently had a 35% market share at the time. So I guess that means that it was sold for 35% of the market value of the category itself of whiskey. $518 million was what Bell's was sold for to Guinness. And then, as people who are interested in whiskey are aware, Guinness joins up with United Distillers and all these other companies, and thus is born Diageo. Anyway, all right, on to the nose. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and again, thank you to Diageo Korea. So smooth is the palate. You may not believe that you're drinking whiskey at 40%. You might think it's been cut down with water or something. It's very, very smooth. It's very easy drinking. Big sweet component. Did I not check out the nose on this? Did I? I didn't check out the nose. I went right into the taste. Oh, that was not so good. All right, let's back it up. Let's get back to the nose then. All right, on the nose. Sorry. On the nose, we get Highland malt. So it's got a strong Highland malt component in here. Malt whiskey, I should say. There's a saltiness to it, a brininess to it, which is very interesting. Herbals, some dried flowers. Then we also get some spice. What kind of spice? Really nice oak that's been used to mature all of the components in this. It looks as though that's a high priority for the company. And so they are putting their best casks, top quality casks, into this. Cinnamon, of course, ginger, vanilla, you name it, it's there. And a hint of pepper as well, which is interesting. All right, the palate again. I can see why that's #1 in the UK. It's probably very reasonable in bars. Goes down smoothly. Classic flavors. Classic Scotch flavors. What am I getting here? So there's a big sweet up front. Then I'm getting canned mandarin and peaches in vanilla pudding. So imagine that. Some cinnamon there, a little bit of pepper. And if you hold it long enough in your mouth, then you'll begin to notice a hint of peat, a little bit of smokiness, a little bit of, well, I don't want to say sulfur, but something kind of flinty there. And that's coming from the peat. And the peat apparently is from Kulila. If you can see that back there. Can you see that? Well, anyway, so Kulila apparently is where that peatiness comes from in the blend. Now, I wouldn't say it's really heavily peated. Like it's certainly not like the Johnny Walker 12. Okay, so a little bit less peaty than that. But I'm just telling you that it's in there. You really have to hang on to it for a while to get a sense of it, and you will. There's some folk out there who think I'm crazy for being able to pick up notes of peat in things like Glenkinchie or in this, for example, in Glenmorangie, in Glenlivet. In fact, I just had, what did I have? I had a Macallan. Sorry to mention the competitor on the channel, but there was a Macallan that had a peaty note in it. So, anyway, back to this one. How about the finish? Swallow and I get dried plums and figs, in fact. I get some brown sugar on the finish. Fruit spice. Cinnamon is still there. Hint of bitterness, hint of dry bitterness in it. And it's slightly waxy on the mouth and the teeth as well. Very nice. Okay, well, that's a slippery glass. All right, let's get on to the one with water. It's at the ready. We don't have to wait. I'm getting good. Well, the nose is falling apart. I can't smell a thing, in fact. Well, it's just a mild sweetness now. Virtually no bitterness. Less spice and more sweet. Okay, onto the palate. Cheers, everyone. Very malty. A lot of honey. Licorice is in here now. And then I get a pound cake with some kind of a mandarin vanilla icing on it. Which would be very good, by the way. You should try that. Make it. There's something, it's not quite roasted tomato, like a roasted sweet bell pepper. Sweet, and yet that little hint of char from the barbecue. And maybe a little bit of that kind of savory flavor as well is peeking through here with water. Yeah, and quite long, in fact. I've had single malts with shorter finishes than this. I've noticed a lot of people online will call it stating their displeasure with blended whiskeys. And it's different. You got to approach it in a different way. And you know, there's also single malts. There's also blended malts. So that's a blend, in fact. And anyway, you know, leave it alone. Try it first before you say how bad you think it is. Okay? And really try it. Try it in a Glencairn, as I have. Great nose on the neat version. Mild nose, but very nice. Honey, licorice, malty, you got it. So then on to the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Bell's, basic Bell's. It's going to be 85 out of 100. That's the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Bell's blended Scotch whiskey. All right, now if you watch this far, I guess maybe you want to, you know, subscribe to the channel. There should be a link right here with yellow and red subscription buttons. You can click that one. Otherwise, come again, and hopefully we'll see you again. Don't forget about Instagram and Twitter, Facebook pages. There's even a neighbor blog for WhiskyWhistle that I'm making. So check all those out, and do come again. Take care. Have a great Sunday. Goodbye.